This video is just for recruiters. In this video, I'm going to share how successful recruiters are generating more clients every month, increasing their revenue, and also share how you can improve the conversions off of each of these outreach strategies. So first is LinkedIn messaging. I'm sure you've sent loads of LinkedIn messages trying to speak to the hiring managers to see if you can help out with their vacancies. Loads of other recruiters are doing the same. You're not going to manage to stand out just from sending the same message over and over again to lots of different people. One, you need to focus on relevancy. So relevancy is targeting times time equals relevancy. Secondly, you need to look at being creative with your methods of outreach. You need to start thinking outside the box. Thirdly, with LinkedIn messages, you need to start to extend your timeline, extend your sales funnel to increase your conversion. Instead of having a message to call to close, have multiple messages. Have a strategic step-by-step messaging process. Secondly, a method that is being used a lot more at the moment, which is why it's not working so well, is CV broadcasting. What I mean by CV broadcasting is taking a CV of a candidate that is particularly good, stands out, that will probably fit a lot of different roles, stripping the contact information off of the CV, and then sending it round to all of the hiring managers to say I have this person that I thought would be good for your role. Let me know if you're interested and I can put you in touch. This can work. You need to catch the hiring managers at the right time. Again, coming back to relevancy, you're getting the targeting right, but it's very reliant on the time. Like I already touched on, why this isn't working so well is because lots of recruiters are starting to do this. It's becoming the new LinkedIn InMail. As you're seeing a lot more recruiters doing this, it brings in 3 challenges. 1 of oversaturation, 2 of lack of trust. Hiring managers don't believe it's a candidate that's actually looking for a job. They think it could be one CV that you've made up, that you've crafted between all the different CVs that you've had in to make the best candidate just to get in to start then looking for candidates for them. Thirdly, the issue with CV broadcasting is hiring managers are more sophisticated now. So they believe that when you send a CV round, and this does happen, that they will be able to find the candidate themselves. They'll check the job history and then you're out of a deal. Instead of just blanket CV broadcasting, you need to start having conversations with the hiring managers around specific CVs, not just sending a CV randomly saying, I've got this candidate that would be right for your job. Instead, having conversations with them and bringing up candidates, asking for their opinion. People like to share, people like to help, people like to add value. Third strategy that I've seen, which is pretty clever, I'm not sure on how I completely feel about it. I'm calling it phishing. What I mean by phishing is when you are placing a candidate into a new role, looking at the previous history, looking for the hiring managers, even asking the candidate for their hiring managers information if you can get it, and then reaching out to that hiring manager as you know that they are about to have a new vacancy because your candidate is leaving that role. You obviously have to do this in the right way. No one wants to put a candidate out of a job, make a difficult conversation between them and their hiring manager that they've been contacted by a recruiter because they're soon to have a gap in their team. I'd always say to wait until the candidate has left to reach out because this could raise red flags with the hiring manager that someone is looking to leave their team. Unfortunately, this method is a bit unreliable. It's not particularly scalable, but the best thing about it is that you are collecting the data. You are collecting information of hiring managers, decision makers within certain companies and organizations. The solution to boost the conversion, to boost the success rate when phishing, is to have automated workflows, to use technology to add the data, add the emails, add the phone numbers into a follow-up sequence. The follow-up sequence can start soft. It's just to start to bring to the hiring manager's attention your name and your services. Yes, it's softer, so it does become a bit more of a volume game, but your main focus is to collect the data, put it into the workflow and let the workflow do the rest. Fourth strategy is cold calling. I'm sure there's lots of different opinions on cold calling between the different recruiters. I have heard from a few different recruiters that cold calling doesn't work, that cold calling's unnecessary, that cold calling damages the brand. And in the same breath, I've heard from very successful recruiters that cold calling is how they've grown their business to multiple £1 million turnovers. The main issue that I see in cold calling today is following on from the remote working that was introduced in the last 3-4 years. It's harder to phone the hiring manager directly because they're not in the office, they're not not on the centralized calling system. To speak to them, you're going to need to speak to a gatekeeper and then ask to be forwarded on to the hiring manager. So there's an extra hurdle in the way. There's obviously lots of different tips and tricks of getting past gatekeepers, which I'm happy to share. If you're interested in the gatekeeper tricks, comment gatekeeper below and I'll send some information over to you. So cold calling becomes a bit of a volume game. It definitely still works because lots of recruiters are moving away from cold calling. So it's all about standing out from the crowd, being a bit different. Personally, I like to have a cold call out of the blue with someone trying to sell me something because I like to pick up on anything good that they're doing, unless they're trying to scam me. Fifth strategy is referrals. Again, seen a real range of successful and unsuccessful referral schemes within recruitment businesses. I've created another video on why referrals isn't a scalable business model. However, referrals is definitely a strategy, something worth implementing into your business. You just need to do it in the right way. The best thought process around referrals is to give your customers the ability to add value to someone else. Lots of business owners will try and encourage referrals through offering cashback incentives and everything like that. That becomes awkward for the customer. Instead, if they can add value to one of their connections to someone they know, they are 10 times more likely to introduce you to someone. I'll create another video on the best referral strategies that I've seen, breaking them down, what's been the best bits and the worst bits of each. Finally, I'm going to group networking and social media into one category. The reason I'm grouping it is because they can work brilliantly if you do it in the right way. If not, it can be the biggest waste of money, the biggest waste of time. Yes, you may get some extra followers and some extra friends, but you're not going to grow your revenue from just posting content, attending networking events where you're sharing a drink and having a chat about the latest tech. We've ran campaigns around networking for investment funds, helping investment funds grow their revenue just through attending networking events. So it definitely does work. You just need to do it in the right way. Set out a plan, set out a strategy for networking. Set out a plan, a strategy for social media. What you're looking to get back from each post. What the ideal outcome is. And I'll give you a hint. From networking and social media, you're not going to close direct business. Think 3 steps ahead instead of just 1, and you will be able to grow your revenue using networking and social media. All right, that's it from me. I'm going to hop on a call.